approach that can, improve your strategy and your reputation, that would definitely help. So what I can say is you obviously focus your COVID-19 recruitment energies in the right direction. Good. So now everyone knows how Gregory looks, and I would like to. I will introduce him in a couple of seconds, but obviously adapting your talent acquisition process includes new tool, and it might be overwhelming at moment. However, it is possible, and we have Gregory to testify that it is possible. Gregory is one of our recent customer, as Mike mentioned. He's the managing director of eBoss Luxembourg, and he has implemented Skilled in the COVID crisis. So Gregory, thank you for joining us today. We are extremely happy to have you in this webinar. We have a couple of questions for you, but maybe if you can introduce eBoss yourself in a couple of seconds, that would be great, and tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi, Nico. Thank you very much. Hi, Mike, and hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be with you this morning also. Even if it's remote, we are missing the croissant, but we are still happy to be there with you. So yes, I'm managing director of eBoss Luxembourg, which is external call center located in Differdange in the south of the country. So we are neighbors with our friends of Skilled. We have 140 people, professional of the customer relation contact, which in the past was called call center, but now it's more contact center with a lot of different channels that are supported, and digital channels also. So that's it about eBoss, and we are established since 20 years now in Luxembourg. So yes, that's it.
Thank you, Gregory, and it's truly a very interesting organization. And everyone might wonder. I mean, a call center having to work remotely. What? So, I mean, a couple of questions I have is, if we can dig deeper into this, is what has your organization done to respond to the COVID outbreak, and what has worked well?
Well, the thing is that we were lucky that digital was still already part of our DNA before the outbreak. So we always believed that we need more digital in the process of the companies, but we also need more human into the digital. So we were prepared for this, for all the corporate staff. It was very easy to migrate them to remote working, even before the lockout. It was a bit more challenging for our operation staff, the people handling calls, because they handling calls for a lot of different clients. So and not all clients were at the same level of digitalization. So you have to address all the technical issues that each of you faced. We have to face it for as many times as we have customers. So for each and every customer, we need to set up the access to the tools, to the VPNs, to the security policies, and to the telephony system. So that was a bit challenging on the technical side. Nevertheless, so corporate staff was migrated before the lockout, and within 2 days we were able to offer remote working to most projects, and it took up to 10 days for the most difficult project to set up on remote working. So yes, we have today between 90 and 95% of the staff remote working. We kept the site open because handling calls is something different than normal remote working. You need a calm place, and not everybody have a calm place to handle calls from home. And some people prefer to work from office. And we also we understand that we need to consider the fact that not everybody enjoy home working. So that's it. We have to reorganize the services, of course, like the IT department, more focus on troubleshooting and solving issues for our employees, our user, more than developments during this period of time, because it's one of the most stress point for the employees to have issue with the voice or something during the calls. And we also have to reorganize the HR division for us, recruitment staff and training team have to change the way of working. So a lot of change to implement, but today it's and since almost the beginning, it's working fine. On a quality perspective, we expected a small decrease, but we have a small improvement. So yeah, that's where we are today.
It's
Regarding
very
this.
impressive. I mean, seeing your organization going almost fully remote is very impressive. And we see, and more than ever, we understand, that investing early on in technology and being, digital first has helped you overcome a very challenging time, and that's extremely impressive. So I have to say I'm even myself very impressed by what has been achieved at EBOS. But an important question we have as well is how have you handled the implementation of Skilled during the COVID-19? I mean, you could have put the project on hold and because there was too many things to do, but you decided to pursue the project. So tell us a bit more about this.
I think in all companies you have a lot of projects and ideas. You never have time to enough time or resource to work on them. And straight from the beginning, we saw that some service from us would have a decrease in their workload. So I see there an opportunity to push those projects in the box that you never open. So Skilled was scheduled a little bit later this year, the migration to Skilled. But the recruitment division for us was hit by decrease in the activity. Of course, during the first week of the COVID crisis, companies stopped recruiting, so they don't. Our staff had more time, so I say, okay, let's go now. It's the best time to migrate because the qualified staff to handle the migration have more availability now than before. And also it was with the fact that everything was remote, such as the recruitment process was remote. We wanted to have some of the functionality of Skilled available for the recruitment that still goes on during the lockout. So yes, that was a perfect time to make the migration for us.
Great. And I mean, one of the question that comes up is, what do you think Skill can bring to your talent acquisition in the future?
Well, in the future, so we are new users of Skilled, so we are still in a discovery phase of the tool, but of course, what we need in the future is to the talent pool is something we really need, because you mentioned it before. We are one of these company who always look at previous candidates when we have an open position to shorten our time to hire. So that's something very important for us, and also all the e-assessment part. All the personality test is a really cool feature, but we also want to have several e-assessments that we can in part automate or use when we need. It was one of our challenge in our previous before COVID recruitment process. So it was to make it fully digital. The assessment, the tests were one of the process that we need to change and to be able to make it 100% digital. So yeah, we are looking for some features there. I hope Nico and Mike can push these features forward.
But you know how we are. I mean, very close to our customers. Always, hearing out feedback and trying to always make innovative improvement to the platform. And something that you have mentioned, and I find extremely interesting, is you mentioned the link between AI and human, and this is really something that not everyone sees, but you see the technology. It's not an outcome on its end without the human, and by combining the both, you can achieve extraordinary results. And that's something that maybe you can share a bit about this and what your beliefs on this is, but it's very interesting as a comment.
Yeah, I mentioned it's our new catchphrase. We want more digital in our life, but we want more human on the internet, because the digital by itself is something that put a lot of stress on people and can bring a lot of disappointment to clients and customers, especially in the client services business that we are in. So there is nothing as bad as having a chat on a website and no answer, or a bad answer, or only a bot that answers that it doesn't know how to help you. So this is one aspect of what I meant. The other aspect is that you need qualified people to train the digital, because skill can provide to us the best digital tool on the market, but if on the other side we don't have human trained to get the most out of the tools, then we have issue. And in this COVID situation, we see that remote working was a struggle for some employees because they don't have enough digital skills, and they struggle with tools. They don't like chat. They don't feel confident with learning in a video conference, or they are not confident with e-learning platforms and so on. So yes, we need a human behind to support people with the tools and to train people with the tools and to make the tools powerful. The AI need to be trained. The modelization can only be done by a human at the starting point. So that's what we meant here with this point.
Great. I mean, thank you, Gregory, for sharing all of this. I mean, please stay with us. I'm sure the people that are looking up on this webinar will have some questions for you. At the end of this webinar, I see that it's already 11:49, so let's allow still a few questions. So, Mike, I'm giving you the word.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Gregory. Maybe
thank you, Mike.
Stay with us, because we finish up with a final topic, which is of course the post-COVID era. I think what we have seen, all business leaders, all businesses and companies, whatever size, have been affected by this. I think on our side, Nico and I, we're constantly evaluating with our board, with the managers within our teams, what to do next, what are the wisest steps. But as this is not a business strategy case, I think we should really focus also on HR. I think what we have seen is that HR departments have been in the center of this crisis, at least of the feeling that we also had, is that while suddenly putting everyone remote, all the requests, the demands, and the needs that had to be fulfilled and covered for the people that would not work in the normal offices anymore were handled by HR departments. So I think also for the post-COVID, it's very important to align and have future strategies regarding this, and to really learn from what we have seen now, where things didn't go well. Maybe implement new digital tools, processing, communication, and being just ready for this in the future. And one of the main topics, of course, that came out of this crisis is the remote working. And I had the chat with Gregory just before. I think from our point of view, of course, is the remote working gonna come in the future more? Before handing the topic, it's of course the legislation that plays a role. And Gregory, maybe you can give your feedback as well, or your thoughts on that as well. But as we said, as long as the legislations don't allow the work from home in a bigger scale, I think it will sort of be still limited. And I think we cannot take advantage of all the benefits that it still would take by promoting it more. Maybe Gregory, you can share a sentence on that as well from your point of view.
Yes, of course. Remote working was an option that we consider since a long time, but the regulation today in Luxembourg make it. We lost the flexibility that we look with remote working. First, of course, you have the tax regulation issue with cross-border workers. So we have people coming from 4 different countries, so 4 different legislation, and so it makes it difficult to make a massive remote working. It's a pity because it's a most easy way to solve the mobility issue. And the other one is that we need to schedule the remote working, so that prevents from one of the very nice aspect of the remote working, to which is the flexibility. Today, my kids are sick and don't go to school. I want to stay with them at home and can make remote working, but no. So it's difficult on the regulation perspective. So we expect, so the government reacted quickly, make more flexibility because of the COVID. But we hope that this topic will be addressed again after the COVID, so we have more flexibility to implement remote working in a more massive way with our staff.
Yeah, exactly. I think Nico and I will follow that view. I think all the traveling, the traffic in general, and the wasted time, unfortunately, that could be a bit reduced by offering a bit more work from home, would certainly be a great advantage. So yeah, I think, but this topic is a big topic for the post the after COVID area for sure. So thanks for sharing also your point of view.
Yeah, the only thing we can say is we see Mr. Bettel, Miss Wilmès, Mr. Macron, and Miss Merkel. If you're watching us, do something about it. It can help us all.
Yeah.
So we so many people in the call, we can start an association to make a more flexible in the remote working. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in it.
For sure, I think that's a good point. We have a record-breaking attendance today. So for all those that look at least from Luxembourg, let's get together and let's change it for the good. For sure, good point.
It's already 54, so let's allow still a few questions. I mean, just to finish off, obviously, investing in remote working will have far-reaching consequences on the way we work after this crisis. Obviously, it's too early to say to what extent we will not go back to the old way of working, but business leaders should already think about the potential about this investment. I mean, a new operational model based on a higher flexibility, a corporate culture that is more connected internally and externally, and where an analysis of the collaboration can provide valuable data, and an alignment on the business goals, the new cultural standard, and employee expectation, and we see a data-driven methods of analysis to get deeper insights into learning new patterns, employee sentiments, etc. I mean, this is something that you might think it's far away, but it's not. And remote working is here to stay, and will more than ever become an integral part of the way we work. So now, it's time for companies to prepare for this, back to normal.
Yeah, well then let's jump now to the Q&A.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we had a great view on all the past topics. I hope you had a good insight of how we did it, how potentially we could help with our tips, and also Gregory an insight on what it means onboarding a software during this crisis to help digitalizing, because it's a need. So I think we will go now to your questions. Feel free to still put some questions there in case you haven't, or remarks, and then we will be good. So
Gregory, if you can
okay,
come back, maybe you can answer a couple of questions. I mean, we have a question from Agnes. So what would be what would be great is if you could share some tips on successful onboarding process for new employees during social distancing, and what issues, red flags we should avoid.
Yes. So on our side, we make different onboarding process during the COVID, depending on the size of the onboarding. Is it only one employee, or is it a team of 5 or 10? So you need to reconsider all the aspects. Is this experience profile, senior profile, or junior profile? And then consider how much you can make it remote. On our side, we had some onboarding fully remote, so we did not see these people yet, but they already work for us and handling calls, because everything from recruitment until production is doable remotely. For some other recruitment, we add a part of it on site. Depending again, for more junior profiles or more complex trainings, it was we have few days on site and the rest being made remotely. But the philosophy, the approach is everything which can be done remotely must be done remotely. So we try to follow this.
Great. Thank you, Gary. I mean, we have another question from Ilona. Hello there. Maybe you could suggest some platforms where you can find talent laid off during the COVID crisis. I found a couple, but for the US and not for Europe. Ilona, maybe I can answer this one. I'm not sure there is a platform specifically for this in Europe, and that's a good point. More than ever, and what is important is those people will be on the look for jobs. And what is key is obviously, the way you will differentiate yourself. So, the way you will be empathic about, those people, and, have the strongest employer brand. I mean, this is the key. Having, the right communication, having the right communication, and let them know that you are hiring and that you can support, them and their onboarding process throughout this COVID crisis. And more than ever, I mean, advertise on the different job boards, but also, run the necessary sponsored ads to show that to candidates that you are looking for new talent, and that your company is growing. Don't hesitate also, and this is not something that HR team often do, but don't hesitate to write a very insightful piece of content on the blog of your organization, explaining why you hire people and during those tough time, and how you're advising people that have been laid off by the COVID crisis to actually overcome this. This will generate traffic and actually bring people to you.
Nico, just on this topic, because I think it's important. I don't know where she's located, but I know here in Luxembourg we have the ADEM, so the employer body for Luxembourg, has put a very nice job board together. It's called Job Switch. It's specifically for, well, I don't specifically, but it's for people that have changed jobs or want to change jobs in this current situation. I think it's a very nice initiative, but it's unfortunately in this case just specifically for.
Yeah.
But I've seen it on the news, and it's very powerful.
It's all people inside who are unemployed, volunteers, and people who are in chômage partiel also, because we have a high proportion of chômage partiel during the crisis on this Switch portal.
Yeah. So that's
And more than ever, I mean, Europe should come as a whole, you know, to be able to provide those kind of platforms. But you know, if you can also, and there is probably more initiatives in multiple countries, or maybe even write a piece of article, you know, gathering all the different platforms from the different countries. I can be sure that this will generate a lot of traffic and will attract you talent. I see that it's already 12:01. You know, time is flying fast. We still have a lot of questions to answer, but you know, we will also be mindful of the time. So what I propose is that, you know, people have, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to us on our website. You know, if you need Gregory's information and details, you know, I'm sure, you know, we can provide those, and he will be more than happy to answer some questions. Obviously, Gregory, first of all, thank you very much, you know, to have allocated us some time.
Thank you
We
both.
are happy to have you on board as a customer, and we are sure that, you know, you will be a very happy long-term customer. And to everyone that has joined this webinar, we would obviously like to thank everyone for attending, and don't hesitate to reach out to us if there's anything that we can help you with during those times and after.
Yeah. So be safe. Thanks all. Thanks, Gregory.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Gregory. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.